What is going on, PUBG fans? My name is Powerbang. Welcome back to another video. And guys, guess what? The update is just around the corner, and we're going to be taking a first look at the QBZ. It's the brand new assault rifle introduced to the game that can only be found on the brand new map Sanhok. And this is a really exciting weapon to use. It seems extremely versatile and extremely effective from very short range up to mid range. And I'm going to kind of demonstrate its capabilities in this video. We'll compare some of the attachments on it, such as the suppressor, the compensator, the flash hider, all of those. And then also we'll look at the grips as well. We're also going to take a look at the optics, and we'll do that to start things off to kind of get a feel for how far away this gun feels good with a full auto spray. What I've gone ahead and done is I've equipped what I feel are some of the best attachments in the game for managing recoil. That is the compensator and the half grip. And we're going to go ahead and go, well, basically full auto here, starting out with the red dot, and we will do that here. Let's find a nice little landmark like these twigs right here. And we're gonna go full auto on this target and try to keep as close of a group as possible in the chest. And we'll see exactly how that turns out for us. So here we go, zooming in. Not too bad there with the red dot. It definitely, you know, it jumps on you a little bit, but overall, I mean, that's a pretty devastating spray pattern right there, and that's with only the red dot. Let's look at the 2X right now. Here we go. Are you kidding me? The 2X on this gun is an absolute beast. It's a tiny group. Let's try again. I mean, that's just an automatic devastation of the target. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the 3X on this weapon and see how manageable that is as well. Here we go, center mass again. Pretty good. It's definitely a lot harder to control than the 2X scope. The 3X is definitely effective, but again, have to pull down on it pretty hard. But again, if you can manage that recoil there, it is again an absolute beast. Looking at the 4X now, which is probably the maximum I would go for, you know, handling this weapon. I would probably even stop lower than this. But for those of you guys that like the 4X on your ARs, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Honestly, not too bad. The QBZ there with a 4X on it, I mean, I can't even really be mad at that. That's a 4X, and we're able to keep them pretty tight. Let's go ahead and look a little bit farther out here. Why don't we go to this target here? You can see it wants to run on you a little bit from that range. Why don't we go ahead and pop the 3X back on? We'll go a little bit further out. And again, a lot more side to side on the half grip here, kind of trying to keep it down. It did go off target a little bit. Why don't we pop down to the 2X? Thank you, buddy, for making an appearance in the video. You know you love it. All right, here we go. 2X. I mean, that's pretty dang good, guys. The 2X, I feel like, is the sweet spot for this gun. Whether you're running and gunning, whether you're scoping in, the QBZ, check this out. Hip fire. I mean, there's minimal recoil at all. Yes, some of the bullets for firing from the hip, they do go off target a little bit, but getting a little bit closer, that's truly amazing, honestly. That's an amazing pattern here. Amazing gun from what I've seen so far, but when we have to reach out from range with it, if we're gonna take a 6x, for example, and throw it on there, swap it over to single fire, I mean, this thing, it's got some significant kick, but it's not too bad if you can get the recoil down. Not too bad, but if you fire it like a, you know, a marksman rifle, you can see how, like, a lot of these shots are finding their way to the target, like, after the fact. It's okay. I mean, you know what? It's better than I had actually anticipated here. Yeah. Not too bad there at all, to be honest with you. Hey, not too bad. The 6X, if you can get that rat-a-tat-tat down, not too shabby. What if we look at it with an automatic fire? It jumps quite a bit. I mean, look at the rise on that that weapon. Definitely not something I'd recommend, but if you do rock this thing single fire, it is not all that bad. So I actually kind of enjoy that. So I might actually do that out in the regular world. I don't know that I'll ever throw a 6X on it, but if we do throw the 4X on it and we want to reach out and touch somebody, let's take a look at that really quickly. I'm impressed. This gun is pretty freaking cool on single fire as well, but where it truly shines, as we saw already, is with the 2X close range. Look at the spray pattern. There is none. I mean, you could do that. What I like to do with this weapon, though, is when you see somebody, snap to the head right here, you know, and you can pretty much keep it on their head, and that is just, I don't know how many thousands of headshots, but it's a lot. So let's go ahead, move on forward to some more comparisons here and figure out which grips are best on the QBZ. So now that we know that the 2X scope really kind of excels here with this weapon, we're going to go ahead, walk up to this white line right here on the ground. That's where we will stand, and we're going to aim right here at this 100-meter target, and we're going to start right down here on this bottom line of the torso. And again, we'll look at the loadout. We are going to use the compensator because we know that's going to affect the recoil the most, and we will use the 2X scope. I'm going to start with the vertical foregrip, and again, with no recoil control here, I'm just going to fire a full auto magazine. Here we go. Just feels like so many. Yeah, good try. Looks like we're going to do this again for a tutorial video. Hey, thank you, PUBG, for moving the freaking grenade table right here. I mean, God, could we make that any easier for these guys? Thanks, appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and fire off the next grip. We will look at the angled foregrip, which is one of the originals here. All right, so not too shabby again with the smokes, though, trying to make this a poor video, but they're not going to be able to stop me. Angle foregrip, not too shabby, but again, it goes off the target, and you can see how it's back and forth a little bit right there. I don't really find the value in that versus that vertical foregrip. Let's go ahead and look at the half grip now. All right, half grip, here we go. I mean, are you kidding me? Does it get better than that? Half grip, champion so far. Next up is the thumb grip. This is just a quick ADS. I mean, this is so much faster than every other scope. But, how does it handle? There. That one was a pretty good run right there from the thumb grip. Still didn't best the half grip so far with consistency. As you can see, again, kind of off to the side of the target there, a little bit unpredictable. Let's try one more just to kind of get a better feel for it. Again, that one's also pretty good right up the middle, and I feel like I want to see one more just for consistency's sake, but we'll do that in the next training session. Back at the white line once again, we are ready for another run here with the thumb grip, and lining up on the bottom. Actually, not too bad there. It does veer off a little bit, not nearly as consistent as the half grip, but at the same time, the thumb grip I'm going to give a second place to, simply because of the ADS speed. The vertical grip was close in performance. It does keep the vertical spray down a little bit, but if you're trying to control the thumb grip, really just pull it down. You know what I'm saying? Pretty tight group there, not going to lie. So, thumb grip second place so far. Let's go ahead and throw on the light grip. I think we all know where this one's going. Let's go ahead and line it up. Light grip, here we go. You know what? That is not as bad as I was expecting, to be honest with you. This performs far worse on some of the other guns. Maybe they tweaked it a little bit. So the vertical recoil seems to be reduced a little bit with the light grip compared to what it used to be. And it's not all that crooked. I mean, it's pretty good there, that light grip. I'm not going to lie. So there it starts to show its inconsistency. Still not my favorite. But again, does this compare to the angle grip maybe? honestly, yes. So far, I'd say it's right around par with the angled grip as far as performance goes. But for me, the clear winner is the half grip on this particular weapon system. So what I want to do now is compare how it handles with the suppressor versus the compensator versus the flash hider. Starting off with the compensator, we already know how that looks. To go ahead and remind ourselves once again, we will look at the half grip, we'll put it on that bottom line, and we are going to get ready to rock and roll. Here we go, half grip. I mean, it stays on target the entire time. Let's go ahead and look at the suppressor now instead of the compensator. Does this affect the actual recoil or not? Definitely higher recoil, definitely further off to the right, and let's go ahead and throw that on there again. Yeah, substantial difference in recoil so far with the suppressed AR here. Let's go ahead and try one more time. Again, fairly accurate with that run, but again, way off the top of the sheet here. So yeah, substantial difference in the suppressed AR versus compensator. Let's go ahead and take a look at the flash hider now and see what this actually looks like. Zooming in with the flash hider. Surprising, actually. That is far less vertical recoil than the suppressor. And it feels like a pretty tight group, especially for the first half of the magazine. Wow, not bad at all. The flash hider looking really solid as far as recoil control with this particular weapon. Not too shabby there at all. The flash hider I gotta give a good grade to, but I do believe your winner, as probably most of you would expect, is the compensator. Definitely kind of keeps the group the tightest, but what matters more to me is how does this handle once you're trying to keep the group, you know, with a little assistance here. Let's go ahead, aim in with the compensator. Not too shabby at all. You can see that group pretty tight there. Let's do one more. And that's kind of with me correcting it. Let's look at the suppressor and see if we can do something similar here. Definitely a lot harder towards the back end of that magazine. It starts to bounce back and forth quite a bit. So the compensator is noticeably easier to control. And towards the second half of the magazine, it really does start to bounce side to side pretty abruptly. Looking at the flash hider now, zooming in here, how is this controlled? Honestly, pretty good. It does go a little bit more side to side than the comp, but way less than the suppressor. That's a pretty tight group right there. But again, your compensator is going to be the winner. Who would have thunk it? Guys, this thing is an absolute machine. With a compensator on it, I mean, look at that. Are you kidding me? That is almost all in the inner circle there. So again, guys, very, very, very capable weapon, the QBZ, and I highly recommend it from medium to close range. I don't think it's super effective at long range because it does have the lower damage of the 5.56 rounds versus like a 7.62. But at the same time, with single fire and a larger scope on it, a 4X or a 6X, it does seem like it could be fairly accurate and fairly effective. It's got a nice feeling rebound to that recoil, and it's something that you do definitely feel like you can control. If I put it on single fire here, again, this is only with a 2x, but I mean, it's got a nice little recoil pattern there. Pretty decent stuff, honestly. New car making an appearance. Let's go ahead and pop some tires. But you guys can see how quickly that's on single fire. You can take out a vehicle. That thing is completely disabled at this point. QBZ, pretty awesome. So obviously use it to your discretion. Again, this will be out in the very near future. By the time you're watching this, it may actually be out. Sandhawk coming soon to a game near you, guys. PUBG Mobile is getting better and better as we keep going on here. The QBZ is going to be one of my favorite assault rifles. I can already tell you that. I do like my snipers from long range, but the QBZ definitely has a place, and it's going to be one of the premier shorter range weapons in the game. Great damage, awesome recoil control, and it really, really shines in these close quarter battles that you're going to see on Sandhawk. Guys, that's all I got for this episode. Smack that like button and subscribe to the PUBG Mobile channel if you have not already. If you're looking for more daily PUBG Mobile action, feel free to hit me up on Powerbang Gaming. The link for that will be in the description below. I will see you guys next time. This is Powerbang, signing out.